What if your beginning was never meant to limit you, but to prepare you? I was born on the slopes of Mount Kenya, in a country still healing from the scars of colonial rule. This was Kenya in the 1970s, a young nation finding its identity after independence. Under President Jomo Kenyatta, there was a vision of unity, progress, and rebuilding what had been broken by the British colonizers. Education was expanding, communities were rebuilding, families were reclaiming land that had once been taken. But change was not easy. I grew up in the rural village, surrounded by family, grandparents, aunts, uncles. We were never alone. But even in childhood, the past was never away. It was never far away. The memories remained. My mother would show us unmarked graves where our relatives were murdered by the British colonizers. They had been buried in unmarked graves, victims of war. My mother managed our farm. My father worked in the city, in Nairobi, coming home only once a month. We grew coffee, tea, maize, beans. We raised animals. We worked the soil. Even as a child, I understood responsibility. But this was also a time of change. My parents were very progressive. Our home became one of the first to build a brick house, permanent house. One of the first to have a solar power energy. In the evenings, our home came alive. Music filled the air. Freedom songs by Kamaru, spiritual songs by Julia Lucy, and even country music by Don Williams, Kenny Rogers, and Dolly Parton. We also sang hymns together by the fire, Kikuyu hymns, Swahili hymns. Those moments became memories that never left me. Education was not just important, it was everything. I attended a small school, Ichuga Primary, over 1,000 students, few resources, no lunch at school. Every day we would run home to eat, then run back before the bells. And if you were late, you faced the consequences. But I loved learning, dreamt of becoming a lawyer, someone who would fight for the rights of others. And when my exam results came, my life changed. I was accepted into Tumu Tumu High School, one of the most respected schools in the country. I was proud, was also afraid. For the first time I was leaving home. At Tumu Tumu, everything was different. The students were the best, the expectations were high. For the first time, I was no longer the top student, and I had to decide, would I shrink or rise? A teacher once told me, potential means nothing if you do not push yourself beyond it. Those words stayed with me. I began to change. The journey led me to Kenyatta University, one of the best universities in Kenya. For a girl from a rural village, this was more than education. It was transformation. University life was not easy. There were financial struggles, political tensions, riots, uncertainty. But there was also growth. I found my voice. I found my purpose. And I began to understand that education was not just about knowledge. Looking back, my journey was never just about school. It was about resilience, sacrifice, and the quiet strength of those who came before me. Because where you begin does not define where you can go. It prepares you for it. If this story speaks to you, please subscribe and join me each week as we uncover identity and the journeys that shape us. And please tell me in the comments, what did your beginning teach you? What did your humble beginning, growing up, what did you learn from your parents, your grandparents? What challenges did you encounter? And what did those challenges teach you? I have learned that the human spirit is resilient. Like my parents and my grandparents, they survived through colonial torture. They survived through a very difficult time, yet they emerged with victory. Although they were broken, they picked up. They started rebuilding. And as children, we never heard them complain. We never heard them ask, why me? They put smiles, they sang, they danced, they did the best they could with the resources that they had to bring up their children, to make sure that their children never felt as victims. Kenyatta once told them to forget the bygones, to sahau yaliyopita, and tugange yajayo, meaning let's forget about the past and think about our future, the future of our children, the future of our great-grandchildren. So please share your story of humble beginning, how you grew up. Did you hear any stories about the colonial times? Did you hear any stories that made you question the history that you read on history books? Please join me every week as we continue with these discussions, as we reclaim our identity, as we rewrite our history, one chapter at a time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like so that we can share this story and it can reach more and more people. Have a good day, my friends. We are lucky to be living at a time where we have social media. We can tell our stories. We can relate what was written about us. The memories that were buried, we are unearthing. And we will continue to tell our story. Bye.